and welcome again to North Central Journal. I'm Scott May, and we're joined by not one but two representatives of the North Central Mass Chamber of Commerce, Roy Nascimento, the president and CEO, and Jim Vanderhoeven, the chairman of the board and also the president of Mount Wachusett Community College. Great to have you here, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Good to see you.
Thank you for having us, Scott.
We're going to talk a lot about a recent award that the Chamber received, the Chamber of Commerce of the Year Award. But I want to begin by talking about what a Chamber of Commerce is. What exactly is a Chamber of Commerce, and what is the mission of a Chamber of Commerce? And I guess, Roy, I'll ask you that question.
So that's a great question, and there's a lot of confusion out there about chambers. Sometimes people think a chamber is part of federal or state or local government, and we're not. We're a private, nonprofit, business-led organization with a mission focused around advancing the economy here in the 27 communities that we call North Central Massachusetts. And we're not part of any national organization. There's a U.S. chamber, and there are many chambers throughout the country. We're not affiliated. There's an old saying in the chamber world, if you've seen one chamber, you've seen one chamber, because they're all different and unique, and they're really reflective of their local communities. But there are some similarities between chambers. All of them typically are business-led. They're all focused on their communities and kind of leading their communities, advancing their communities, supporting local businesses, and we're no different. But our mission is really focused around advancing the 27 communities of North Central Massachusetts, the economy. There's an old saying, a rising tide lifts all boats. So the idea is chambers, businesses work together. They join a Chamber of Commerce, which is basically just a big network of businesses and community organizations that come together to work collaboratively because they can accomplish more together than they can individually to raise that tide so that everyone benefits in the community.
Now, I have another question that popped up while you were talking. Do chambers of commerce collaborate amongst themselves?
We do, yes. Yeah. So again, we're not part of any national organization. So there is a U.S. chamber. We're not part of that organization, but we will collaborate on some things of national interest that impact our region here. And the same goes with local chambers and state chambers and other business and economic development organizations. It's really a core principle of our organization that we collaborate. We collaborate not only with our members in our communities, but with other stakeholders throughout the state and throughout the region. Again, really trying to work together to try to advance the economy.
Now, we mentioned at the outset that the North Central Mass Chamber has recently been named the 2023 Chamber of Commerce of the Year. And it's from the Association of Chamber of Commerce Executives. What is the selection process? How does that work?
So we were really, really excited to have been selected as the Chamber of the Year. That's a really big deal in the chamber industry. That's the equivalent of getting a Academy Award in the film industry. So it's the highest award and most prestigious award in the chamber world, and we are the first chamber in Massachusetts or New England, for that matter, to have ever received that designation as Chamber of the Year.
Wow.
And it's a big deal, and it's not an easy award to get. It's not an easy recognition to get. It's through our national association, the Association of Chamber of Commerce Executives, and there is a pretty vigorous process involved in being selected. It starts with being invited to apply. So like many national associations, they collect a lot of data from chambers that is used to benchmark. So we submit data that helps us benchmark ourselves against other chambers. And so they collect that information, and the top performers, based on certain key indicators that are used in the chamber industry, are then invited to apply. And so there's a lot of chambers that typically qualify. We qualify most years, and we have submitted in the past, and there's a written application, and it's really pretty extensive. So they ask for a lot of background materials. They want to see our audit. They want to see our governance materials. They want to see our employment manual. They want to see our strategic plan, communications plan, things of that nature. And then there's a lot of questions and essays. There's essays on different topics, and it changes, on what's timely. Like in recent years, diversity, equity, inclusion has been a hot topic. So there are questions around that, and there's questions about how we are engaging with our communities, how we're engaging with our volunteers and volunteer leaders in the community, and how we're having an impact. What are our programs, and how are they helping to really drive the economy locally? So we have to answer those questions. And typically the application also includes us highlighting 2 initiatives. So there's what they call 2 synopses. So you have to highlight 2 initiatives, and they're not looking for the average run-of-the-mill kind of initiatives. They're looking for things that are really innovative, that really have kind of moved the needle and helping the community, or helping to solve a challenge, or providing some type of leadership in the community. So we provided two initiatives that we had worked on, and they have to be initiatives over the last 2 years. And so there's an application. It's reviewed by a committee. So they have 4 or 5 judges that are past recipients, and they review the applications, they score them, and then the top scorers, they'll select 3 finalists, and those 3 finalists are then invited to the ACC annual convention, which is in a different location each year, and this year was in Salt Lake City. And then there's interviews there. So it's I had to attend this on August 1st, and it was myself and Teresa Roberts, who's our Director of Finance and Operations, and we're interviewed. And it's a pretty tough interview process. And it's 45 minutes. They ask you a lot of questions, then they grade you on the interview, and then ultimately they decide who is the winner among those 3 finalists. And just to be a finalist, when you're selected as a finalist and invited to interview, that's a big deal. We've been selected before as a finalist, and that is a big accomplishment and a big deal. But then to be selected, and then the award is presented, it's a surprise, but it's presented at an award ceremony that they have there. And they have multiple awards on different things, communications and programs. But again, this is the top award, and it's the most prestigious award. So it's a big honor. I'm so proud of our board, folks like Jim here, that volunteer their time, that provide tremendous leadership, and our dedicated team of professionals. We have a relatively small staff. We have about 17 professionals that are dedicated to the work that they do, supporting not only our members, but our communities. And the work we do is really important, and it has an impact, and it's nice that that is validated by others and recognized by others.
Yeah, we're going to get into some of that, but Jim, I want to get you involved here. You're not just window dressing. Roy mentioned that the Chamber has been a finalist for this award a couple of times, 2017, 2021. Mm-hmm. What do you think put the Chamber over the top this year?
Well, first of all, we're really, really proud of the work that Roy and his team do in our region. I mean, it's second to none. And so while we're all incredibly proud of the Chamber, I would say that the actual members of our Chamber are not all that surprised because of the level of attention and level of outreach that we receive from the Chamber on a regular basis. For instance, one of the things that I think has been the most helpful for me as the president of the Mount is that the work that the Chamber has done to put together, say, workforce analysis of the region. Where are we really going with the future of jobs in North Central Massachusetts? How are we building bridges between our educational institutions, our workforce, our business and industry? And in fact, the publication that the Chamber came up with around the future workforce needs was a significant driving factor behind our new strategic plan. Mm-hmm. So it was one of two or three documents that really drove us in our strategic planning to make sure that we're meeting the region's needs. So that type of outreach, I know that and recently they're very, very responsive to community needs, particularly with the flooding in Leominster. Really taking an approach of caring for their members, caring for the region. I received an email that day after the Leominster floods mm-hmm. to say, are you impacted? We're here to help. How can we assist you? And it's that type of attention that I believe separates a chamber like North Central and would really, in my mind, deservingly so, received that award. I will say I just learned about the 45-minute interview, and that I think I would be very nervous about that, but you never let on, so that's great. I think it's just I think it's a real tribute to what's happening here in North Central Massachusetts as well. We have to have a supportive business industry. We have to have a business an industry population that's willing to work together in order to, it's a reciprocal relationship. So I think it's great.
Roy, you mentioned Teresa Roberts, who attended the award ceremony with you, and I heard a rumor that she predicted the win.
She did.
Was she part of the interview process, or was that just you?
No, she was part of the interview process.
So she predicted
absolutely.
the win,
She was very engaged, and she felt like third time's a charm. So we were going to get it this year. So, and she was right.
Now tell us about some of the more innovative programs that the Chamber is embracing and putting forth. What are some of those things that you're doing?
So I think we're unique in that we're a really dynamic chamber. So we're involved in a lot of different things that, again, really helping to advance the economy and the quality of life here in North Central Massachusetts in multiple ways. So, for example, we have underneath the umbrella of the chamber a tourism arm called Visit North Central Massachusetts. Its legal name is called the Johnny Appleseed Trail Association, but we do business under the name Visit North Central Massachusetts. And for lack of a better word, term, I guess you'd refer to it as kind of the Convention Visitors Bureau for North Central Massachusetts. So we're really charged with promoting the 27 communities to visitors, trying to bring groups and people with a little jingle in their pocket, tourists, out here to North Central Massachusetts. And we've had great success with that. We track the visitor spending, we track the visitors coming out here, and we track other indicators. And we've really had an impact in bringing groups out here and visitors out here. And that translates into visitor spending, translates into jobs, tax revenues for our local communities. And there's no shortage of need for tax revenue for the services that they need to provide and infrastructure. So that's helping to drive the economy. So we're doing some great things there. We operate the Visitor Center Route 2. So when a lot of people think of the tourism work we do, they think of the Visitor Center. And we operate a great visitor center. I want to put a shout out to our manager, Diane Burnett, who does a great job. Her and her team there do a great job. It's open year round. I think it's only closed for 4 holidays a year. Otherwise, it's open for the traveling public and for visitors. And we're not just a rest stop there. We take great pride in the fact that we're a visitor center, this unique kind of anchor institution there in Lancaster that is helping to showcase and helping to tell the story here of North Central Massachusetts. You'll go in there, you'll find national park style information boards telling the history of Johnny Appleseed, telling the history of our other communities, talking about Mount Wachusett, the iconic mountain that's in our backyard that brings so many visitors out here, talking about the history. And then we have so many other amenities there for visitors and a gift shop that sells local products, again, helping to tell the region's story. And we're really proud of the renovations we've made to that visitor center. We really renovated it last year, added some improvements to really better that experience and to better tell the story of the region. But that's only one element of what we do. We're also involved in economic development. We have a lending program, so we provide loans to start-up businesses or existing businesses that, for whatever reason, can't get capital through traditional means. Well, we'll take another look. We're a little bit more flexible, and all of that circles back to new jobs, new investment in our communities. And then what Jim highlighted earlier, the work around kind of talent and workforce. That's our #1 issue right now as a region. We know because we've done a thoughtful kind of analysis, and we know that this region, because of demographics, because our population is shrinking and our population is getting older, that's going to impact our labor market. We're going to start seeing a decline in the number of potential workers here in the region. It's not just a problem for us; it's a problem statewide. It's a problem for our entire country, but it's a little bit more acute here. And so we are, in our role as a chamber, as a chamber, we have multiple roles. We're a convener. We're a partner. We have a public relations role, being a cheerleader for the region, economic development role, but we're also a thought leader and a catalytic leader, trying to really advance the region. So we're starting that thoughtful work, working with the college, working with other stakeholders like our Workforce Investment Board, the university, and state leaders and local leaders to try to find some solutions to those challenges, because we can't grow as a region unless we have enough workers to fill those gaps. Employers are already struggling, never mind in 10 years when this problem just gets worse.
Now, Jim, the Chamber, North Central Mass Chamber, was also awarded a 5-star accreditation by the Accrediting Board of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. Mm-hmm. What does that represent?
Well, to me, it means that they know what areas of our economy to focus on improving mm-hmm. and helping the businesses work together. I've been in different regions around the country in my professional career, and this is the first region or community that I've come into where I have felt like Industry A has a vested interest in working with Industry B and Industry C all the way down the line in order to be successful, to recognize that you can't do any of this alone. And so the accreditation level means that the organization overall, under Roy's leadership, is making sure that they're focused on not just quantity of programs, but quality of programs. Are the programs that they're offering, say whether it's business after hours, whether it's the educational programming that they offer, whether it's workshops, seminars for business leaders, whether it's the loan program, all the way across the board, are they focused on providing quality services to those who are in need of that? And obviously through that accreditation process, they are definitely doing that. One of the things that I always know or have heard is just because you have the best idea ever for a business, for a business idea, mm-hmm. doesn't necessarily mean that you also have the experience and the knowledge of how to get that business off the ground and how to move it forward. And so coming into a supportive environment, we see a lot of new businesses in the region who are signing up and joining the Chamber of Commerce because they know that they have an opportunity to get those seminars and workshops and programs to bolster their business model.
Well, how many businesses and organizations are part of the Chamber?
So currently we have 700 members of all sizes and all industries. So we have everything from home-based businesses to consultants to mom and pop retail stores to large corporations, of every industry, restaurants, hospitality, manufacturing, education, a lot of different. The common denominator is that they're all, I like to say, business and community leaders, because they're stepping forward because they believe in the mission of the Chamber and they want to work collectively to advance the economy. They recognize, they get it. So they're drinking the Kool-Aid that we're passing out, right? About how important, about rising tides lifts all boats.
Roy, one thing that I wanted to mention too, especially when you're talking about that large of a number of businesses as being a part of one chamber, the North Central Chamber has an incredible opportunity for businesses of all size. And so they have a different structured membership approach to mm-hmm. the chamber. Okay. So based on, say, your size of employees, your number of employees, you can become a member at a level that works for your business model. I know several small business owners who may be intimidated to join because they think it may be very overwhelming, or it may be too expensive, or it may not, be tailored to their needs. Mm-hmm. One thing that I really believe is that this chamber, the North Central Chamber, really focuses in on the needs of different types of businesses, different sizes, different industries, and has those programs that are really tailored to the needs of the business community, rather than making the business community fit the needs of the chamber. It's the other way around.
Now, what has been the growth in terms of membership over the last, say, Since you become the president, how has that grown?
So I can tell you we're doing very well,
Yeah.
thankfully. Membership, we just had a board meeting earlier today, and we reported on membership, and we had a really strong summer. And summer's typically a very slow period for around membership, but membership retention has been very, very strong, and we focus on retention. So we really want to make sure that our members that are engaged and involved in the chamber stay on as members. So that's so we focus a lot on that. But even recruitment. So we have a lot of businesses coming out that are wanting to be involved and engaged in the chamber. And as Jim mentioned, we're unique in that we have a choice-based membership model. So members decide how they want to support the chamber and at what level they want to support the chamber.
Now, you talked about the flash flooding, the devastation in Leominster, but there were other communities in the chamber footprint that suffered as well. What did the chamber do? How did you step up in ways to help these communities, and particularly Leominster?
So I'm extremely proud of our team and our board of directors. As soon as that flood happened, the next day, we were reaching out to all of our members by phone, by email, reaching out to see how this impacted them, if they need any help, and to let them know that we were there to try to help them in any way that we can. And we immediately jumped into action. We reestablished our dedicated email hotline that we had established with the onset of COVID. So we thought we were done with it, and but we brought it back on, and that was for not only chamber members, but for any business in the community that was impacted to reach out to us. And that was monitored. It's still monitored by 3 staff members who check those emails, and we try to respond in a timely fashion to either provide some direct support, or if we can't help them, to try to find an answer for them or to point them in the right direction. So we immediately established that hotline. We went through and created a resource page on our website with a lot of information. We found during COVID that businesses really needed a source of timely information. So we compiled a lot of that information we learned from COVID and created this resource page for assistance so that businesses impacted could find that information. And then our board of directors, within a week, we had established a emergency loan fund program where we could provide emergency loans and turn those around very quickly within a week. And small loans, only about $10,000, but we can do loans up to $250,000 through our traditional lending program. So if someone needs more, it just might take longer and go through a more vigorous review process. But recognizing that sometimes businesses, when they go through a situation like that, sometimes need some cash immediately until they get their insurance settlement or until some of the federal and state resources can kick in, that they may just need a short infusion of cash. So we established that emergency loan fund, $10,000 loan up to 36 months, 1% interest, so very low interest, and very flexible terms. Could be interest only for the first 6 months, and again, stretch it out over 36 months. And with the idea being that these will get paid off well before then, because insurance settlements and other grants and other resources that might kick in. So, but we wanted to provide that, and our board immediately approved that loan program. We had to run it by them first, immediately approved that, and then we were able to roll that out, and we were able to help some businesses that were in the community because of that loan program.
I want you both to finish this sentence, and Jim, will start with you. The Chamber of the Year Award would not have been possible without the support of
the team that Roy has put together at the Chamber. I think we have a top-notch group of professionals there who are very good at communicating, very good at delivering, and even better at keeping their thumb on the pulse of what's happening in North Central Massachusetts.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about the team, and I think Jim has hit it pretty hard there and very accurately, but I'll ask you the same question. It would not have been possible without the support of.
So I would agree on the team. So we have a great team at the Chamber, but I would also add our members and our partners, and we have multiple partners at different levels. But our members are really the lifeblood of our organization. They're the ones that really, we're supported by private dollars by our members who write their membership dues and sponsorships, and so that enables us to do the work that we do, and they empower us to really speak for them. They empower us to advocate for them. They empower us to do this important and very thoughtful work that helps move the needle here in North Central Massachusetts. So this really is a testament to, I think Jim mentioned it earlier, this is a very special region where businesses step up, and this is really a reflection and speaks volumes about our communities and about the businesses here in the communities that really step up and provide leadership.
Now, we're beginning to wind down and getting close to the end, but I want to give you an opportunity, Roy, to talk about a couple of things that are coming up, maybe toward the end of the year or early in 2024, that you want folks to know about.
So a couple of things. One is we're really excited about this Chamber of the Year award. Again, it's a big deal in our industry, and we don't do the work we do for the awards, and the same thing with the accreditation. We really entered this process because it's a good process to go through. It's a thoughtful process. It helps us. It's a good self-evaluation process, and we get feedback from the Chamber of the Year process that helps make us a better organization. So but we want to celebrate with our members because we're really excited about this. So we are planning a celebration in November 14th at the Chamber office. Excuse me, we had it scheduled for, originally scheduled for September 12th, but unfortunately we had those floods in Leominster and really had to pivot towards helping our communities recover from that. So we had to unfortunately postpone it, but we rescheduled it to November 14th, and that's an opportunity to celebrate with our members, and we're really excited about that. We also have our 40th anniversary coming up in 2024, 40 years since the Chamber was established, and we were established nearly 40 years ago through a merger of the Fitchburg and Leominster and some smaller chambers that came together to form this regional chamber. And I believe we've had a really proud history and really had an impact in our region. So it's an opportunity for us to celebrate that legacy and that tradition and the 40 years that we've been advancing the communities here. So we have some special events that we have planned for our 40th in 2024. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned, yeah.
And we'll have that on our website. But we're really excited. We want to celebrate with our members and with our partners.
Now, if a business owner, an organization wants more information, where can they go to get it?
So I would say go to our website. So it's www.northcentralmass.com. Again, northcentralmass.com. They can also follow us on social media. We're on all the social media channels: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. So it's a great way to find information, or call us. We have our Tracy Gagnon, our great membership manager, would be happy to talk to them and walk them through membership and see if it's something that would benefit their business.
Well, I want to thank you both for being with us on North Central Journal, and certainly congratulations on the award, the 2023 Chamber of Commerce of the Year Award, and thank you for everything you do for the region. It's great talking to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.